Dear student, myself Dr. Dinesh Jain. Today we are discussing the CSOM. What is CSOM? CSOM is a chronic suppurative otitis media, which is a long-standing infection of the mucoperiosteal lining of the middle ear cleft, characterized by continuous or intermittent discharge through a persistent tympanic membrane perforation. Epidemiology: the incidence is higher in the developing country because the poor socio-economic status, poor nutrition, lack of health education, and it affect both sex equally, and all age group are affected equally. The type of CSOM are the safe type or tubotympanic, unsafe type or eticoentral disease. The newer classification for CSOM are the mucosal disease for the tubotympanic and squamosal disease for the eticoentral. The mucosal disease may be active, inactive, or healed. Squamosal disease may be active, which is known as cholesteatoma with discharge and retraction pocket. The difference between the tubotympanic and eticoentral disease are the first with the discharge is profuse in amount, mucoid or mucopurulent or odorless in case of tubotympanic, while in case of eticoentral disease it is scanty in amount, purulent and foul smelling. The perforation is central in case of tubotympanic disease and marginal in case of eticoentral disease. The granulation tissue are more common in case of eticoentral disease, while it is uncommon in case of tubotympanic disease. The polyp is pale in color in case of tubotympanic disease, while red and fleshy in eticoentral disease. The cholesteatoma may be present in case of eticoentral disease, while it is absent in tubotympanic disease. The rate of complication is more in case of eticoentral disease, while rare in case of tubotympanic disease. In the audiogram, the mild to moderate conductive hearing loss is present in case of tubotympanic disease, while the conductive or mixed deafness is present in case of eticoentral disease. The tubotympanic disease are the mucosal disease with no evidence of invasion of the squamous epithelium. It may be active, inactive, and healed. The active disease are those in which the perforation of the pars tensa with the inflammation of the mucosa and mucopurulent discharge. The inactive disease are in which the permanent perforation of the pars tensa but the middle ear mucosa is not inflamed and there is no active discharge present. The healed disease are those in which the tympanic membrane is healed by two layer, which is atrophic and easily retracted if the negative pressure is created in the middle ear. The eticoentral disease is the squamosal disease of the middle ear. It is active when the presence of the cholesteatoma in the posterior superior part of the pars tensa or pars flaccida, which cause the erosion of the bone and form the granulation tissue and have the purulent discharge, which is offensive. The inactive disease are those in which the retraction of the pars tensa or pars flaccida with no discharge. The etiology of the CSOM is either sequelae of the acute otitis media or ascending infection through the eustachian tube, nasal allergy, gastroesophageal reflux disease, craniofacial abnormality like the cleft palate, cleft lip, the autoimmune disease. The tubotympanic disease are the disease confined within the either in the eustachian tube or anterior-inferior part of the mesotympanum and hypotympanum. It is usually start in the childhood, so safe type is common in that age group. The present with the central perforation and no underlying osteitis or osteomyelitis is present. The bacteriology Pseudomonas aeruginosa is the most common organism in case of tubotympanic type of disease. Bacteroid proteus, Escherichia coli, Staphylococcus aureus, Bacteroides fragilis, and anaerobic Staphylococcus also streptococci also present. The symptom, the first and most common symptom is the ear discharge, which is mucoid or mucopurulent and non-offensive. Second is the hearing loss, which is conductive type. Third is the otalgia, or in some patient the fever may be also present. The sign, the profuse mucopurulent discharge, non-foul smelling and no blood stain. The hearing loss, central perforation, middle ear mucosa is congested, polyp may be pale in color. In some patient ossicular necrosis, ossicular chain neck erosion is also present, or some patient tympanosclerosis is also reported. The type of perforation, the perforation may be central perforation when the perforation in the pars tensa surrounded all around by the pars tensa. The marginal perforation is the perforation in which the pars tensa is surrounded partially by the pars tensa or by the bone. There is a erosion in the fibrous annulus. The central perforation is classified according to the site and size of perforation. According to the site of perforation, the central perforation may be anterior when present anterior to the handle of malleus. When present posterior to the handle of malleus is the posterior, or below the handle of malleus is the inferior perforation. While according to the size of perforation, the perforation may be small size, medium size, large size, total and subtotal perforation. The small size perforation, when the perforation is about 25% of the pars tensa, is the small size, 25 to 40% is the medium size, and 50% to 75% is the large size, and 75% to 90% is subtotal, and more than 90% is the total perforation. The stages are the acute active stage when the discharge is present at the time of examination. Quiescent stage, in the recent past discharge present but there is no discharge at now. The inactive stage are the when the no discharge is present between the 3 to 6 month and dry year. The healed perforation, the healed stage of tympanic membrane, when the perforation has healed permanently and controlled the middle ear infection. The eticoantral disease are the disease in which the chronic inflammatory condition of the middle ear cleft confined to the posterior part of the mesotympanum, attic, antrum, and associated with the bone eroding disease or cholesteatoma, characterized by thick, purulent, scanty, foul smelling and blood stained persistent discharge, may be associated with the perforation in the pars flaccida. Cholesteatoma. What is cholesteatoma? It is a cystic bag-like structure lined by stratified squamous epithelium containing desquamated epithelial debris lying on fibrous tissue, stroma of variable thickness. The misnomer is the skin in the wrong place, are also synonymous with the keratoma or epidermosis. The cholesteatoma consists of two parts. The first is the matrix, which is made up of keratinizing squamous epithelium resting on the thin stroma of the fibrous tissue, and second is the central white mass called as keratin debris. Different theory is suggested for the cholesteatoma formation. First is the congenital cell rest. Second is the invagination theory, or also called as Bitmec theory. According to this theory, the invagination of the tympanic membrane from the attic or posterior superior part of the pars tensa. Second is the epithelial invasion theory, or also known as Habermas theory. According to this theory, the squamous epithelium from the tympanic membrane migrate to the middle ear via tympanic membrane perforation. Third is the basal cells vessel cells hyperplasia theory or reduced theory. According to this theory, the squamous epithelium invade into the subepithelial tissue in the pars tensa like the epithelial cone forming microcholesteroma. This enlarge and perforate secondary through the tympanic membrane. Third is the squamous metaplasia theory, also known as SAD theory. According to this theory, the middle ear cuboidal epithelium is pluripotent and can be stimulated by inflammation to become keratinizing squamous epithelium. The type of cholesteatoma is the congenital cholesteatoma, which is arise from the anterior-superior part of the mesotympanum. The three most important sites for the congenital cholesteatoma is the middle ear, petrous apex, and cerebellopontine angle. Second is the acquired cholesteatoma. Acquired cholesteatoma may be primary or secondary. Sorry. The most common site of the origin of the acquired cholesteatoma is the posterior epitympanum, posterior mesotympanum, and anterior epitympanum. The pathology for the eticoantral disease is first is the cholesteatoma, second is the osteitis or granulation tissue, third is the ossicular chain necrosis. The most common ear ossicle affected is the long process of the incus, and second is the stapes suprastructure, and then the cholesterol granuloma formation. The eticoantral disease, symptom of eticoantral disease are the first is the ear discharge, second is the hearing loss, third is the bleeding, earache, dizziness, tinnitus, or maybe symptom of complication may be present. The pars tensa cholesteatoma sign are the first is the retraction pocket, which is present in the posterior superior part of the pars tensa. The cholesteatoma flex, granulation tissue, polyp, or hearing loss. The investigation for the CSOM will be done like the examination under microscope, pus for culture sensitivity, audiological assessment, X-ray of both mastoid, CT scan temporal bone, basic investigation like the blood investigation, X-ray notch PNS, diagnostic nasal endoscopy, and Eustachian tube patency test. First is the examination under microscopy. Examination under microscopy will be done to confirm the otoscopic finding, to confirm the site and size of perforation, to confirm the margin of perforation and appearance of the middle ear mucosa status and presence or absence of polyp or granulation tissue or its site. Second is the pure tone audiometry. It is done for the identification of the presence or absence of audiometry function, differentiating the conductive hearing loss from the sensory neural hearing loss. The hearing assessment will be done in the decibel. The X-ray both mastoid will be done to compare the pneumatization of the both mastoid hair cells, to compare the haziness or clouding of hair cell, and also for diagnosing the low lying tegmen or anteriorly placed sigmoid sinus. The basic investigation like the complete hemogram, blood sugar level, blood urea level, creatinine, urine analysis, ECG, X-ray chest PA view. The X-ray notch PNS will be done for detecting either deviated nasal septum or any other pathology. Diagnostic nasal endoscopy, Eustachian tube patency test will be done like the Valsalva test, politizer test, catheterization, Toine-V, tympanometry, and radiological test will be done. The treatment, the medical treatment for short-term goals like the elimination of infection, control of otorrhea, and long-term goals are the improvement of hearing, eventual healing of the tympanic membrane. The oral toilet, like the dry mopping, wet mopping, suction irrigation under microscope, and topical antibiotic and systemic antibiotic will be given. The cause of failure of medical treatment is the first cause is the poor drainage of the inflammatory exudate from the middle ear, the presence of persistent osteitis with the mastoid granulation, the virulent and resistant of the organism, reinfection via eustachian tube like the adenoid or sinusitis, allergy and mastoid reservoir. The chemical cauterization or medical myringoplasty done with the use of trichloroacetic acid. The principle behind the chemical cauterization is the epithelial covering the margin of the perforation is destroyed and exposing the fibroblast. So mild irritation induces the hyperemia and secondary fibroblast proliferation, which is used in dry small to medium sized perforation. Several sitting may be necessary, which is the disadvantage of the chemical cauterization. The medical treatment for the cholesteatoma is the topical antibiotic with the oral toileting, suction clearance, application of silver nitrate to the granulation tissue, anti-metabolite like the 5-fluorouracil can be used, which reduce the activity of the squamous epithelium and curtail the production of the keratin deviation. The ventilation tube in case of attic retraction will be tried. The surgical treatment like the myringoplasty. Myringoplasty an operation performed to repair or reconstruct the tympanic membrane. The tympanoplasty is an operation performed to eradicate the disease in the middle ear and to reconstruct the hearing mechanism without mastoid surgery or with or without tympanic membrane grafting. The ossiculoplasty is an operation performed to repair or reconstruct the ossicular chain. The myringoplasty, the prerequisite for the myringoplasty is the dry ear, good cochlear reserve, normal eustachian tube function, predominantly conductive hearing loss, and no cholesteatoma. The grafting technique for the myringoplasty may be overlay technique or underlay technique. The tympanoplasty is 5 type. The type 1 tympanoplasty can be done when there is ossicular chain is intact and sound protection from the round window. Type 2 tympanoplasty is done when the slight defect in the ossicle and middle ear is of about normal size. The type 3 tympanoplasty is tried in case of malleus and incus are extremely eroded and columella effect. The type 4 tympanoplasty is done when the mobile stapes foot plate is present. The sound pressure transformation is given up. The type 5 tympanoplasty can be done when there is a fixation of the foot plate of stapes and sound pressure done through